How old is fire? This seemingly simple question opens a profound window into the story of human evolution. Fire is more than a tool. It is a transformative force that reshaped our ancestors' lives, enabling them to survive in harsh climates, expand their diets, and forge new social bonds. Its mastery represents a defining moment in human history, yet pinpointing when and how early hominins first harnessed fire remains a mystery. Was fire's role in our past as ancient as the emergence of Homo erectus nearly 2 million years ago? Or did it arise later, as the archaeological record more clearly suggests? Exploring this question requires more than examining scattered traces of ash or burned bones. It demands that we weave together evidence from physiology, behavior, environment, and technology to reveal a deeper understanding of fire's ancient and transformative role. In the absence of direct proof, can we reconstruct the hidden story of fire's earliest sparks? Let's take a closer look. The global dispersal of Homo erectus nearly 2 million years ago represents a watershed moment in human evolution. Spreading from Africa to regions with drastically different climates and ecosystems, Homo erectus demonstrated a remarkable capacity for adaptation. However, the archaeological record of fire use during this period remains sparse and ambiguous, leading to debates about whether fire played a significant role in their survival and success. While conclusive evidence of fire mastery by Homo erectus is lacking, the physiological, ecological, and behavioral patterns seen in their evolutionary trajectory strongly suggest that even opportunistic fire use was pivotal. By examining both the direct evidence and the challenges posed by its absence, a case emerges that fire was an essential tool in their adaptive repertoire. The movement of Homo erectus into colder, temperate zones of Asia and Europe was unprecedented among early hominins. This expansion presented a host of environmental challenges, including hypothermia, increased caloric demands, and heightened exposure to predators. Fire offered solutions to these problems by providing warmth, enabling cooking, and deterring nocturnal predators. Sites like Dmanisi in Georgia, approximately 1.8 million years ago, illustrate Homo erectus's ability to thrive in relatively harsh climates. The success of these populations implies strategies for overcoming cold conditions, which fire could have facilitated. While direct evidence of fire use is absent at Dmanisi, the absence of evidence does not preclude its presence. Without fire, the challenges of adaptation grow more pronounced. Surviving frigid nights without warmth, cooking, or additional predator deterrence would require advanced alternative strategies, such as insulating clothing or robust shelters, for which there is no archaeological evidence. These factors suggest that even rudimentary fire use likely played a role in enabling Homo erectus to venture into such diverse and demanding environments. The physical and dietary traits of Homo erectus provide strong indirect evidence for fire use. Notably, they exhibited a reduction in gut size and an increase in brain volume compared to earlier hominins. This evolutionary shift aligns with a diet of higher quality, more energy-dense foods, which fire use and cooking would have facilitated. Cooking improves food digestibility, unlocking more calories and reducing the energy expenditure required for digestion. While it is possible that raw diets rich in meat and marrow fueled these changes, cooking is a far more efficient means of meeting the high metabolic demands of a larger brain. Moreover, the increased social and cognitive skills evident in Homo erectus, as seen in their Acheulean tools, suggest a capacity for exploiting fire, even if its use was not yet habitual. Without fire, however, these physiological and behavioral advances are harder to explain. The metabolic demands of a larger brain would strain a raw diet, particularly in colder environments where food resources might be limited. Fire thus emerges as a plausible and efficient means to bridge these physiological and ecological constraints. The lack of definitive evidence for early fire use at Homo erectus sites can partly be attributed to preservation bias. Open-air sites, where many of their remains are found, are less likely to preserve ash, charcoal, or other markers of fire over millions of years. Even when evidence survives, distinguishing between naturally occurring fires and those controlled by hominins remains challenging. Burned bones and charred materials at sites like Kubifora in Kenya, approximately 1.5 million years ago, and Swartkrans in South Africa, approximately 1.5 million years ago, hint at early fire interaction. However, these findings are contested and open to alternative interpretations, such as lightning-induced wildfires. Still, the repeated appearance of such evidence in contexts associated with stone tools and butchery implies a degree of hominin involvement. If fire use was entirely absent, these burned materials would require entirely natural explanations, which seem less plausible given the consistent association with hominin activity. This suggests that early fire use, while sporadic and opportunistic, was likely part of Homo erectus's survival strategy. There will always be gaps in the archaeological record. Making sense of the evidence that remains requires a rigorous and logical approach to examining the interdependencies that can reveal impossibilities. Here, the idea that Homo erectus thrived without fire is in fundamental conflict with key assumptions about their adaptability, physiology, and ecological success. Without mastery of fire, significant gaps emerge in our understanding of how they met critical demands. Their expansion into diverse and often hostile climates raises difficult questions. How did they overcome the risks of hypothermia, increased caloric demands, and exposure to nighttime predators without the warmth, protection, and light provided by fire? Physiological changes, such as reduced gut size and expanded brain volume, become harder to explain without the metabolic efficiency of cooking, which makes calories more accessible and digestion less demanding. Furthermore, the recurring presence of burn materials at sites associated with Homo erectus, including charred bones and plant remains, cannot easily be dismissed as mere coincidence if fire had no role in their behavior. These challenges demand a careful reconsideration of the widely accepted timelines for fire use. Current assumptions may underestimate the adaptive ingenuity of Homo erectus, particularly in the face of gaps in direct evidence caused by preservation biases and interpretive challenges. If fire use was indeed central to their success, as the indirect evidence suggests, its emergence must have been earlier and more significant than traditionally recognized. To advance our understanding, researchers must critically re-examine the archaeological record and develop innovative methodologies for detecting early fire use in contexts where it may have left only subtle traces. The debate over early fire use by Homo erectus is not just a question of uncovering more evidence. It represents a paradigm for understanding historical processes through interrelationships rather than isolated data points. Our analysis demonstrates that by considering a broader context, including environmental, physiological, and behavioral factors, one can deduce critical insights even when direct evidence is sparse or ambiguous. This approach reveals that fire was not simply an incidental part of Homo erectus's adaptive toolkit, but a central factor shaping their survival, evolution, and eventual dispersal across the globe. This broader perspective has far-reaching implications. It challenges the narrow focus on physical artifacts as the sole basis for interpreting history and emphasizes the necessity of integrating indirect evidence and cross-disciplinary insights. For example, physiological changes in Homo erectus, such as brain expansion and gut reduction, cannot be fully understood without considering dietary transformations that cooking likely facilitated. Similarly, their ability to thrive in harsh climates cannot be explained without examining how fire would have addressed challenges like hypothermia and predation. These interdependencies between environment, biology, and behavior provide a richer, more coherent picture of early human evolution than any single line of evidence could. This insight is not limited to the study of fire or Homo erectus. It is a reminder that history often leaves incomplete and fragmentary traces, and understanding the past requires reconstructing its broader dynamics. By identifying and exploring the relationships between multiple factors, be they ecological, physiological, social, or technological, we can uncover patterns and causal connections that transcend the immediate evidence. This approach allows us to see not only what happened, but why and how, revealing deeper truths about the processes that shape human and natural history. To advance this understanding, researchers must not only refine methodologies for studying specific evidence, such as traces of fire use, but also embrace integrative frameworks that draw from diverse fields. Insights from anthropology, archaeology, biology, and climate science must be synthesized to build a more comprehensive understanding of early human life. Targeted investigations using advanced tools such as residue analysis and experimental archaeology are essential, but they should be guided by an awareness of the broader context in which Homo erectus lived and thrived. The implications of this approach extend beyond archaeology. It serves as a model for addressing complex, historical and scientific questions in any field where evidence is incomplete or contested. By examining interconnected factors and their influences, we can derive insights that are otherwise hidden and rethink assumptions that may seem firmly established. This approach not only reshapes our understanding of early fire use, but also challenges us to reimagine how we approach the study of history, technology, and the evolution of human ingenuity itself. Ultimately, the story of Homo erectus and their relationship with fire is more than a question of direct evidence. It is a testament to the power of contextual reasoning. By looking beyond individual data points to the web of influences that shape human evolution, we gain a deeper appreciation for the ingenuity, adaptability, and resilience of our ancestors. This perspective not only bridges the gaps in the record, but also expands the horizons of what we can know about our shared past. It is an invitation to rethink how we approach history, and in doing so, to uncover the hidden dynamics that define our collective story.